It started with the echo of footsteps on frosted grass. Lila Sanders had returned to her late grandmother's stone cottage in the Yorkshire Dales, a place she barely remembered, but one that called out to her, haunted by the bittersweet promise of solitude after heartbreak. As she unlocked the warped wooden door, a chill snaked through the air, not just the midnight wind, but something unseen. Inside, the hearth stood cold, but the faded wallpaper and sagging beams whispered stories of those long gone. On the mantel, a tarnished silver locket, a faded watercolor, an old key. When Lila reached for the locket, she felt a prickle at the back of her neck. The nearby grandfather clock chimed, but a shadow seemed to dance along its glass, a pulse of something lost and longing. There are places where memory becomes mist, where hearts become haunted by what is left unsaid. Tonight would be such a night. Lila's life has unraveled in a swirl of canvases and lost love. A painter by trade, she came to Yorkshire from Boston, seeking a retreat from her failed engagement. Her long auburn hair, often untamed, framed a face marked by the gentle fatigue of longing. Every brushstroke in her city loft had echoed loneliness. Here, among the wild flowers and weathered stone, she sought peace. Her only company was Finn, an aging tabby who prowled the creaking floorboards, and Mrs. Bell, the neighbor who left fresh bread on the stoop every Monday. As she sorted through dusty books, Lila found an old diary, entries teeming with notes about a blue lady roaming at dusk, an unquiet spirit whose eyes matched the moon's glow. She laughed, lovingly skeptical. Surely such things belonged in stories, not life. Still, her heart beat a fraction faster as she read the tales. The cottage felt both sheltering and strange, as if she was not the only soul looking for home. Fog hugged the rolling hills. Sheep grazed in adjacent fields, their breaths rising in chilled clouds. The cottage garden, brimming with ivy and lavender, awaited spring's touch. In the town, locals gathered at the Black Horse Inn, a centuries-old pub rumored to host ghosts, lost lovers, and all-night whispers. The rooms inside the cottage were a tapestry of faded light and lingering nostalgia. Antique armchairs with patchwork throws, stacks of classical novels, and a kitchen alive with copper pans and the scent of fresh bread. For viewers in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, every scene carried something familiar. The gentle hum of a kettle finding a boil, the scent of rain on country stone, the ache of twilight when dreams feel closest. On the third night, Lila's dreams rippled with distant rain and the sound of someone softly humming old tunes. At the witching hour, Finn returned to the living room, his back arched, eyes locked on the empty corner beneath the stairs. The room grew impossibly cold. A blossom of frost formed on the inside of the glass. Lila, startled out of sleep, crept toward the chill and saw her own breath swirling. The grandfather clock struck 1. The chandelier above glimmered and dimmed. Suddenly, a figure flickered behind the glass. A woman in a blue dress, her hair loose, her gaze piercing but sorrowful. Lila clutched the locket on the mantel, feeling its hidden heat. The ghostly woman, transparent but solid enough to ripple the faded curtains, reached a trembling hand toward the portrait on the wall before vanishing. A single word seemed to hang in the air: stay. The next day, Mrs. Bell's bread came with a cryptic note. If you hear her voice, do not answer at midnight. Days passed in afternoons of painting and tentative calm. Each evening, as dusk draped the moors, Lila sensed the ghost's presence growing stronger, a blend of fear and fascination. She began to paint the woman in blue, her sadness, her ethereal grace. She learned her name from old village tales. Evelyn Hartwell, a gifted pianist believed to have died for love, her spirit bound to the cottage by longing and regret. Evelyn's story flickered in rumors, an affair, a duel, unsent letters left beneath floorboards. As Lila's curiosity grew, so did her empathy for the ghost. Every encounter was charged with emotion, gentle touches to her shoulder, midnight melodies on the wind, the scent of violets in room corners. Evelyn appeared more fully each night, her eyes filled with yearning. Sometimes she would brush Lila's cheek with a chill as soft as mist. With each midnight visit, Lila felt old wounds ease. Her own broken heart seemed to find solace in Evelyn's invisible company. She whispered questions to the darkness and received cryptic answers. "True love never leaves," Evelyn replied. "But not all love should be trusted." In her dreams, the cottage transformed into the ballroom of another era. Evelyn twirled in the moonlight, her beauty captivating but her gaze haunted, always searching, always waiting. Yet, not all was beautiful. The house's shadows grew deeper, voices whispered warnings. Finn hid beneath Lila's bed. The clock refused to chime. One night, as a rainstorm battered the stone walls, Lila discovered a hidden door behind a moldy tapestry, a secret passage twisting toward the cellar. The air grew colder with every step. The sound of piano music echoed through the gloom. She followed it, drawn by longing and fear. In the darkness, Evelyn emerged, her spectral beauty marred by a crimson stain across her dress, a wound not from this world. She spoke at last. "I was betrayed, Lila. The man I loved promised me eternity, but he died with secrets. I am chained here by heartbreak and revenge." Her eyes blazed with sorrow and rage. The cottage itself seemed to tremble, and for a moment, Evelyn was not just a lover, but a villain. Her heartbreak curdled into vengeful intent, her spectral form growing more menacing. She reached for Lila. "Set me free, or stay with me forever." At that moment, the gentle spirit became an antagonist, beautiful and dangerous, captivating and cursed. Lila recoiled, the locket in her palm suddenly heavy. Evelyn's story unfolded. A romance turned dark, jealousy twisting love into something sinister. The ghost's wrath poisoned the walls, old portraits rattled, the air grew thick with regret. Lila felt herself torn. Could she help Evelyn find peace, or would she become just another soul lost in this haunted house? Throughout the week, the tension grew. The cottage's beautiful facade hid echoing heartbreak, mirrors warped, music boxes played by themselves, the hearth flickered blue. Each night, Lila tried to reach Evelyn through art, through whispered pleas for forgiveness, her own and the ghost's. Finn howled at empty corners. Mrs. Bell's warnings grew more desperate. "Love is a wild thing," she said. "Don't let it become a prison." Outside, rain battered the moors. Inside, the line between comfort and danger blurred with every longing glance toward the piano. On the 7th night, as a storm raged and the clock struck 12, Evelyn appeared in the moonlit parlor, more real and vibrant than ever. Shadows curled around her, but in her eyes, a spark remained, a desire not just for love, but for release. Lila, trembling, held out the locket. "What do you want from me?" Evelyn's reply was both a curse and a sorrow. "Only the living know forgiveness. Only the dead know regret. Will you stay with me, Lila? Will you choose love, even if it means never waking from this dream?" As the night's wind howled, the cottage walls seemed to whisper, "In the hollow heart, real love is a ghost that never leaves." The story ends here, for now, inviting the audience to dream, to fear, and to wonder if love, like ghosts, walks quietly among us every night.